Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about how I found out I was pregnant at 17, how I hid my pregnancy for 4 months, and what my ex had to say about it, and how he felt, and how I told my parents, and that's what everything we're gonna talk about in this story time. So if you want to know all about it, continue on watching. How I found out I was pregnant. It was this boy I was dealing with, and we had decided to see each other late at night. And I had just got off of work, and I was over my grandmother's house. And I was just getting out for work, and so I was bored, and I was like, hey, come see me, whatever. So he came see me, and stuff started happening. Fast forward, I didn't think I was, even though we didn't use protection, but I still didn't think I was pregnant because I just didn't think it for some reason. So later on down the line, I missed my period, and so why my period not coming on. So when I was at work one day, I had bought a pregnancy test, and I took it at my grandmother's house, and it came out positive. And I was kind of confused because I wasn't throwing up or nothing. So I get my period at the end of the month, like either the 20th or the 29th. It never go past that. But I took my pregnancy test on July 30th. It came out positive. This ain't right. This not right. Because the reason I was thinking, I wasn't having no symptoms. But I remember when I was at work one day, the room was really cold, and like my nipples were sore. I was like, why are my nipples sore? This is like the first time it ever happened. I'm always cold, and it never happened before. All of a sudden my nipples get sore. Because mind you, I was working. And then when I found out, when the test came out positive, I was still going to work. And I would notice I couldn't, like, every hour, I would, like, take little breaks. I would take, like, hour breaks. Even they weren't supposed to do that. I would take breaks. I was like, what is wrong with me? I have low iron. Like, I'm anemic. So I was like, maybe that's it. But it was different. It was way different. Like, I had to keep sitting down, drained, sluggish. I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I couldn't even really do my job for real because I was so sluggish, and I couldn't do what I normally do it for work. So I'm just tired. I kept sitting down. I'm like, okay, what is wrong with me? Hey, I have low iron, but this is different. This is way different. That was a symptom because I couldn't do what I normally did for work. I didn't want to get up. Like, I just wanted to lay there. I'd be so tired. And then every night like when I would come back from work and I would lay down, it would be like this little ball pressed up against my stomach. I'm like, what is that? I kept thinking, what is that? It would happen every night. But when the baby started moving, like, baby started moving in November, that's when I started feeling movements. But that's when the ball stopped. I just started feeling movements then. But when I was first pregnant, I just had little balls pressed up against it was like a little ball, like a big old ball pressed up against my stomach. Every night I went to relax. I would lay there and be on my phone. It was like this little ball pressed up on my stomach. In the world, but what could that be? I still acting like, nah, this is not it. Even though I knew I was pregnant. I was like, what in the world? Every time I relaxed, and I would like look up pregnancies, like the baby would do that every time you're relaxing, so mom knows that it's there. I'm like, maybe this could be. But I never threw up. That was the thing. I never threw up. I still don't throw up. Like, that's not even a symptom. I don't even be nauseous. I don't throw up. None of that. I just be tired a lot, and I be having to lay down a lot. But then again, I started back working, when all my parents found out, because, you know, I wanted to work to have some money for the baby, to get baby things. But, you know, I stopped working there, like, when I had got another job. I stopped working there, like, in a month, because I just couldn't step on my feet for a long time. I just couldn't do it. And plus, my mom was like, yeah, you don't need to work. Because she was going to do it. She was going to buy everything for the baby. Anyway, she said, you really, Sky, you don't have to work. I know you want extra money in your pocket, but you don't have to do it. You can. So I stopped working, and she was supporting. She was already buying baby things. Anyways, okay, I'm finna stop working because I can't stand up for a long period of time because I was a cashier and we was busy and there was a lot of customers. I said I can't do it. I have to stop working. So it's a good decision because now I'm bigger now. Let me show y'all my stomach. Huge. It's huge now. So I'm 28 weeks and 4 days. I took another one and it came out positive again. I just kept thinking, I was throwing it to the side because it wasn't right to me. Even knocked out to the side, I said it could be a possibility that I'm pregnant. So I told him, I had sent the picture of my pregnancy test. I took a picture of the test and I sent it to him. He can do everything he can to be a good father. He's going to be there every step of the way. He was accepting it. So I just, okay. Thought me and him could handle it. But he had all of a sudden, but let me go back some. When I found out I was pregnant, his mom had moved him to Virginia for a few months. So I kind of was like in the hall, I was like, oh my, how are you gonna go to Virginia? And I just found out I'm pregnant. Yeah. That was one thing that how you gonna go and I just found out I'm pregnant. But anyway, he said we're gonna figure this out and so about it when I first found out. So I told him I was kind of nervous about telling him, but I told him. He was acted very supportive over it and everything. Like he was happy that he was having a baby. Okay. I started noticing. I would wake up in the morning, it'd be like the small ball. I'd be like, what is the world is this? It's like a small ball, like right around my uterus, like around there. And so I'm just like, what is the small ball? And then I kept feeling out. I was like, what in the world? But that was actually the baby. Like it was, but I didn't know that then. But now I know it was like the baby. I was like, oh, well now I know that that's what that small ball was. Then. Because remind you, I kept my pregnancy a secret for 4 months. For me and my baby daddy knew. My parents didn't know. Keep that. They didn't know for 4 months. And down the line, like the first month I was pregnant, I noticed the food that I usually eat, I wouldn't eat it no more. Like I had these Lunchables, and I would love Lunchables, and I just couldn't eat it. Like I was like, wow, I love them so much. I just couldn't eat it. Ugh. Then one day my mom had made some food and I could smell it and it would just make me like just I was getting nauseous. I was like, what is wrong with me? Then, because was like, I'm not pregnant. Like I couldn't believe it. I wasn't believing it. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is just something. I kept still throwing it to the side even though I was pregnant. So I kept throwing it to the side. But the thing was, I don't throw up. 7 months pregnant now, and I do not throw up. I never threw up none of my pregnancy. And that wasn't even the first symptom. It's supposed to be a symptom, but it's not a symptom for me. So I'm just like, okay. Which I'm glad I don't have, I'm glad I don't throw up because I heard that's the worst in pregnancy. I'm just glad I don't do it. So let's get to the interesting part on how I told my parents. Okay, it was October 16th. No, let's go a lot back. Let's go a few days back. I gotta get comfortable for this because this is very interesting on how I told my mom. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how I told my mom first, then my dad. Okay, so on my mom, I was just telling her, I was like dropping kind of little hints. I was like, feel my stomach. You feel this hard ball right here? Like, cause my stomach was kind of a little bit, I had a little tiny little bump. So, feel this hard ball. What do you think this is? Like, I was trying to drop hints to her, and she wasn't catching on. She was like, maybe it's a tumor. I'm like, so anyway, October 16th, I just kept going on to, I was like, oh, I just need to go to the doctor, see what's wrong with me. October 16th, we go to the doctor. We sitting there. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's about to find out that I'm pregnant. What is she gonna do? So we walking in there. I'm sitting there waiting for the doctor to call me back. So me and her both walked back there, and the doctor was like, "What's wrong? Like, what's wrong with you?" And then I had my period for 4 months, and that's all I said. I had a period for 4 months, and I just want to know what was going on. And so then another lady came, and I had to do a urine test. And when I was in the bathroom, my mom and the doctor was back there, was in the room waiting on me, and they was talking. And you just go ahead and give her a pregnancy test. You know, my mom was like, go ahead and give her a pregnancy test. You know, I don't think she's pregnant. That's what my mom was saying to the doctor. So they went ahead and gave me a pregnancy test. We were just sitting there in the room. I'm like, oh my God, she's about to find out that I'm pregnant. What is she gonna do? But then I was hoping, like, in the other side, I was like, I hope I'm not pregnant. I hope I'm not pregnant. So the doctor come in, and then all I hear is the pregnancy test came out positive. And my mom, she thought she was dreaming. She couldn't believe it. I should have recorded it because it was kind of funny when she found out, because how she was acting. She was like, I gotta be dreaming. No, she's not. No, she's not. For her? She was like, for her? She's like, the doctor was like, yeah, she's the one that peed, right? Yeah, she's pregnant. And my mom had walked out because she had to go back to work. She had walked out. And I was just sitting there. And they had to give me a referral to go to the doctor. So, you know, like, to start doing your monthly checkups for the baby. They had to give me a doctor's referral, like, to find me a doctor. But when they had came in, we listened to the heart. I'm going a little bit too further ahead. Let me tell you, so when we was in the room and she found out I was pregnant, the lady had came in with to hear the heartbeat. She came in, we listened to the heartbeat. Oh my God, I was so emotional. I was like, it's really a baby in there. I was so like, I couldn't enjoy it because she was acting all. I couldn't even enjoy the moment of listening to the first heartbeat. She was acting. I can't believe it. Oh, you know, I was like, you know, can you just stop fucking? I was kind of like teary. I was like, don't, Sky, don't cry. It's not the time to cry. She just not finding out you're pregnant. You just not the time to cry. But that's how she found out. So I had to call my dad because he had to come get me, but I didn't tell him on the day that my mom found out. I had give her like a week for her to absorb it. So go back to my mom. My mom, like when she had came, my dad came and got me, but I didn't tell him what happened at the doctor. He didn't ask me what happened at the doctor's, cause my mom couldn't take me back home because she had to go back to work. So I had to call my dad to come get me. He asked me what happened at the doctor. He didn't ask science, and I didn't want to him because he's the person that I was really scared to tell I was pregnant. I was really scared. To tell him. So I didn't say nothing about it to him, nothing at all. I was just, you know, we just got some food or whatever, and I waited till my mom got off work, and so she came and got me. Because I was at my grandma's house for a few hours, and then she came and got me. We was on our way back home talking in the car, and she was just like, who was the boy, and all this stuff, like a lot of questions she was asking me. But really, she was just asking me who the boy was. But she wasn't really talking, like she didn't say too much. I thought she was gonna act way different, but she asked me like, she didn't say too much. I was kind of shocked by that. She didn't even say nothing for real. And then she's like, Sky, just give me a week. Just give me a week to absorb this. So I gave her a little week. You know, she was still talking to me about it. We were still, just give me a week. But we were still talking that whole week. She was trying to absorb it. So I really wasn't. Like, when she found out, 2 days later, we had went bra shopping. Like, she had bought me bras and prenatal vitamins. Like, she just hopped on it quick. Like, Sky, you gotta have this, you gotta have that, you gotta. Even though she needed a week, she hopped on it. She was helping me out. Like, she'll buy me this, buy me that. Sky, you need this. Sky, you need that. Like, she was buying everything that I needed for me to have a healthy baby. I was kind of shocked. Like, dang, she hopped on it quick. You know, she said she needed a week to absorb it. She hopped on it quick. Like, she found out about it on the 16th, and on the October 18th, she caught on it. She got on it quick. Like, 2 days later, she went ahead and got everything I need to have a healthy baby. Like, do bras, can support my breast, because, you know, your breast get a little bit saggy, I think, when you're pregnant. But she just started buying me some, like, support bras and prenatal vitamins. She hopped on it quick. Mom, she was accepted, as y'all can hear. She was supportive and helpful. And she was happy. It seemed like, but I didn't find out. I knew she was happy, but she didn't want to tell me she was happy. I found about it later. I was like, I know she's happy. And then she finally say, I already love the baby and I'm happy. You know, I already knew though. I knew she was happy about the baby. But that was it with my mom. Now with my dad. Okay, so I had my first appointment. When I had my first appointment? I think it was October the 22nd. Because they had to get me in quick. Because I was 4 months pregnant. So they had to get me into the doctors quick to see what was going on with me. Because I was so far along. And my mom, we was going to meet somewhere to tell him before we went to the doctor. He was taking so long to come to the meeting place to tell him. And so we was like, forget it. Just come to the hospital. You'll find out that way. Which was not a good idea to do. Let me tell y'all. So what we had, you know, we walking in, we signing the papers, because, you know, it's my first time, because, you know, I got to see what's going on with the baby, because I'm so far along. We signing papers. He finally come, and no, when he got the elevator, and my mom had stopped and was like, you know, your daughter's pregnant. He was just, I didn't know, his emotions there was not the place to tell him at the doctor's office. And plus, he couldn't even be in there. My parents couldn't even be in there because, you know, the COVID stuff. So I had to be alone, and then they was in there talking and bringing attention to themselves, and they had got kicked out because, you know, the COVID, and, you know, so many people can't be in the waiting room with pregnant people. And he was just looking at me, and the most uncomfortable. That place was not the time to tell him. It was not the time to tell him. But anyway, when he was just, he found out, he was upset. It wasn't kinda, he was upset. He was like, oh, she don't need a baby. She doesn't need to have the baby. No. He was like, people got to absorb that. And since I'm 17, and he was like, no, she can't have it. She can't have it. No. So since they was making so much noise, and it was the first time finding out about it, they had kicked both of them out because like they couldn't be in there anyway. And then here they go making all this noise, and he acting a fool, found out that I'm pregnant, and he was like, oh, y'all go. Y'all go. Like, she called me back up, and she was like, you need to tell your parents that they need to wait downstairs for you. They can't be up here. See, y'all should be quiet. Now y'all kicked out. So they got kicked out. I guess he went somewhere. He left. She was down there waiting on me. because I had her in there with me because it was my first time and I'm young and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what they was going to do for my first appointment. So when they finally, it was like an hour wait because I guess because I'm new and they had put me all in the system. I guess I don't know why it took so long. But when they finally coming back there, they were just doing get my information and about the dad and me and all that stuff about my baby daddy and me. And just information, background information, phone number, that just stuff. Just questions that they need to know for when you're pregnant. So when I get done from the doctor, we go by my dad's house and we were just I wanted to really see how he felt at the doctor's office and they got kicked out and so we really couldn't say too much. I come over to his house. He said, he absorbed it kind of fast. I had came over by his house and we was outside talking. He said, I'm here for you. I'm there for you. I'm gonna be supportive. Like he jumped on it quick till he was happy and he said, I'll be supportive of you. And he's like, things happen. And he was just being supportive, accepting it. But I knew he had some acceptance to do, but he was being supportive, supporting me. And then that was it with my dad. I mean, let's get to the part of how I told his parents. Well, his mom. You don't really know his dad, so I just told his mom. Let me get to the part. He didn't want to tell his mom because he was scared to tell his mom. So my mom was like, no, we got to talk to his parents too. His parents have to know that you're pregnant. They have to know to help him to know that they have a grandbaby on the way. So we're looking for his mom's number. And we finally found the mom's number. We call her. She was pregnant with your son's baby. And do you want to meet up and talk? Like, at first, she was like, not going to do this alone. She's not doing this alone. And his mom was just saying, yeah, she's most definitely not going to do it alone. She's not going to do it alone. He's most definitely going to be there 100%. He's going to be there for 100%. She was already on board with it. And I'm like, what? Because she had sent him off because he's bad. So he's a bad boy. And that's the reason why she sent him off to Virginia. Because she probably thinking, oh, he has a baby on the way. I'm not surprised because he do everything else. That's probably what his mom was thinking. So she was supportive. So when we met her, I met her, his auntie, and a cousin. Like, she brought 3 people with her. So I met the mom, the auntie, and the cousin. And then my mom was there with me. Because we was meeting up. We met up at Applebee's. That was the plan. We had met up the next day to talk about the baby and, just to meet each other. I met the mom. She would just ask me questions like, the cousin asked me, am I going to keep the baby? And his mom was telling me how much he had waited when he was a baby. And we're talking about the baby that's in my stomach. I really don't want to know about him, how much he weighed. That's irrelevant to what's going on. We just meeting up to let you know that your son has a baby on the way. And she was excited about it. She was happy about it. She wanted to take his place with being around. I'm like, no, he has to be there 100% for the baby, even though he's in Virginia. So he needs to be here for the baby. But she's happy that he's having a baby. She was asking me questions how we met, and he went to a lot of schools, and she was asking me what school did I go to, and just getting to know me. How old am I? Am I going to finish school? Am I graduating? Stuff like that. She just asking questions like that. So anyway, fast forward. She wanted to know all about all my appointments and if I needed anything. But my mom made sure I was straight. I really didn't need it. I was just, I was kind of accepting it. I was just really just accepting it myself that I'm pregnant. I was like, I'm really pregnant. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm not having kids. I'm not having kids. I'm not having kids. Look at me. Now I'm having a child. I'm having a baby girl. That's how his parents find out. And plus, she had brought extra people with her to hear about it. So that's how his other family started finding out. And he was all happy and, you know.